Here we are. I've read two different manga series this month and didn't even plan for that. Totally unexpected. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a really small month of reading, but no, not really. Happy Friday, my friends. Happy July. It is hard to believe that we are here doing the reading wrap up of what I read in the month of June. And yeah, I really expected it to be a very small month of reading, but no. No, we read 36 volumes, two large shoujo manga series, and then one shorter series. Was very caught off guard by that. Very caught off guard because I didn't really read much at the beginning of the month, but then halfway through last month, I was like, I really need a break. I got sick one weekend and I just started one of the series, binge read it pretty fast, and then another Sunday, I didn't feel very well again, so I started another series and then binge read that one. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to start off with the digital arcs that I received this past month, with the first one being Nighttime for Just Us 2. I have talked quite a bit about this one already in the video that I did with Marg last month of spotlighting all kinds of different heroes. It was really fun. I really enjoyed this. I have not picked up volume 2 just yet, but I'm still very much looking forward to getting volume 2, hoping that it goes on sale, because right now when I last looked it was $10.99 and I'm like, I really want to read it, but I don't want to pay full price for it. But it was so great, very sweet. I've thought about it quite a bit since then, and I was really surprised because I didn't really have any expectations going into it, but yet I've still been thinking about it. The second digital arc that I read was Penguin and House, which is a new Kodansha manga where it's been out for a little bit now. It's in paperback. I think even the second volume is out in paperback. This was a really cute story. I definitely got aggravated with the guy on the cover. I'm blanking on his name right now because the penguin is so precious. He's so cute. He works so hard and he's just trying to please his owner, and then his owner is he's just so daft. He does not realize all that the penguin is doing for him. So like an example is like the penguin, he folded Pinchan, I think is his name. He folded the clothes all like super nice, super neat, or cleaned the house, and then his owner comes in like after a baseball game, gets mud everywhere, or like he just plops on the nicely folded clothes. And it was just like, ah! But I could say, even with my frustration towards his owner, I still laughed in every chapter. I had a really great time. I don't know if this is one I would pick up to own, but I would definitely, and am definitely hoping that my library has it, because I did have a really great time, and I love the people that interact with Pinchan, because just some of them are very interesting characters where like they didn't like Pinchan at first, now they love Pinchan, or they think he's interesting, or they want to compete with him. Just a fun, overall really great story, and I think it'd be great for those who really love animal-themed kind of stories with great humor. The third digital manga I read that I absolutely loved was volume 3 of Kaiju number 8, Be Still My Heart. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Oh my goodness. It picked up right where volume 2 ended, and my heart was relieved. My heart was very relieved in those first few pages. Kafka is the man. He rocks. He's awesome. We see an epic and great battle between Kafka and the vice captain. It was everything. I'm 100% here for it. Really enjoyed this volume. Was like on the edge of my seat, forgot how to breathe, and had to remind myself, like, take a deep breath, Laura. Like, it's okay. Literally continues to get better and better. It's such an incredible series. I cannot wait to see what happens in volume 4, because as always, it ends on a cliffhanger. But oh, it was so very good. I highly recommend this series. It never gets old. I love all these characters. The vice captain looks super cool. He can kick some butt. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do next in volume 4, though I was really nervous for Kafka in this volume, so brace yourself for all the awesome and brace yourself for some turn of events in this one as well. The fourth digital arc that I read was The Elusive Samurai. This one was not for me. I love the cover so very much. I love the premise of it, where there's this young boy. He is great at basically playing hide and go seek with leaders, his teachers, and this one man basically kills his whole family, wipes out the shogun, excuse me, and he has to go on the run and he ends up sort of running away. Well, he does end up running away, but I think he was like a priest of sorts who can sort of low-key tell the future. It's hard to tell. He's a really shady character, but he was actually one of my favorite characters. I think that this is a good story for those who really love historical aspects, but the biggest thing that was hard for me is it was surprisingly gruesome, and I just felt like when there was opportunity to kill something, whether that's a human or an animal, that there was just a lot of blood sprays. And I don't know, I mean, obviously, like, I feel like Demon Slayer has a lot and sells at work, but I think because he is so young, the main character, it was harder for me to stomach, and so I could not get as into this one. But one of the cool parts is the last few pages. I mean, there's probably like 5 or 6 pages, maybe more than that, talking about historical details of some of the fictional aspects that were actually based on real historical things. So that was very, very cool. So again, if you like historical manga and you don't mind a little bit more of a gruesomer aspect, I would definitely recommend checking this out, because if it did not have as much blood as it did, I do think I would actually really enjoy this one, and not just for that strong cover love, because this was a pickup because of the cover. I'm not even going to deny it. And I think that was all of my digital arcs. So we'll go into the paperbacks. And the first paperback series I read this month that was sort of unexpected for me was Boys Run the Riot. I sort of did a mini review in one of my top 5 Wednesday. I'll leave a link here to it about this series. It was very, very good. I love the beginning. I love the ending. The story was very impactful. It was very eye-opening. I really appreciated reading this during the month of June. It was really good, and again, I'm just really glad I read it. I said I'll leave that link up in the cards to it, because I feel like I gave a much better review and some good thoughts on what I thought about this and how inspiring I feel like this series is, and how truly, regardless of a person's sexuality, I feel like any person could read this and enjoy it and have just a new perspective, and also be encouraged by our main characters, or the main characters. We'll do this one because all of them are on there, but by all 3 of these guys, and how just impactful their story was. It was good, and I'm really glad that I read it. The second series I read, which was my big one, and I absolutely loved this manga. Like, this was probably my favorite read this month, and that was Shortcake Cake. Oh my goodness, it was so good. It was so good. I really, really enjoyed this manga. I did film a video review. It hasn't gone up yet, but I definitely plan to share my thoughts on it. Ten is such an amazing character. She's super sweet. I'm all here for Ren. I loved his character growth, and just the things involving him and these characters are just so fantastic, so wonderful. Chiaki here, this guy, he was really great as well, and this guy was an interesting character. I loved his character development though, and it was so good. It was really great, and appreciate both guys, and I love this cover, though this manga has one of my favorite covers on a shoujo manga, and that is this one. I love this cover of them so very much. Even though the inside totally wrecked me, it does not reflect the cute wholesomeness that is right here. But this is a great, wonderful series that I would highly recommend if you love shoujo manga and do like having deeper elements, especially as the series goes on, because it definitely starts out as a fluffy, very sweet romance, and then as you get to the end, you see that there's so much more to this series, and it's very beautiful. The ending was everything. I've read the ending twice. I've reread almost all the series, like a quick skim read of my favorite parts, and I am definitely coming back to the series. I really, really enjoyed it. It was so beautiful, and highly recommend it. Before I went into my last series, I did get one new pickup, just one, and that is The Muscle Girl Next Door. This was so sweet, so wholesome, so precious. Really, really enjoyed this. I'm just bummed that it's not a series, that's only a one-shot manga, but it is definitely worth picking up if you're looking for something really quick and that has sort of like a reversal of gender tropes, I guess. Very, very good story. I did mention this one in Must Have on Vacation earlier this week and did a mini review there as well, though I am hoping at some point to do a full video review, because Ruby is awesome, and I love his expressions. It was so great. It's very fun, and I love the working out muscle aspect. It was just a really great story and a fun part of it. For the last series I read volumes 1 through 15 of the series Mars. I read this digitally because it is on Prime Reading. So if you have Amazon Prime and you want to check it out, this is a great way to read it and enjoy it. And I filmed a video review before this video. I don't know how it went, guys. I'll be honest. I felt like I was a little bit of a hot mess and I almost deleted it. And I was like, Lord willing, it sounds good. And I was able to convey my thoughts because there is so much like just in this series. It's really hard to talk about without going into spoilers and going in depth. And I just feel though that this is a series you don't want to give spoilers away because you really want the reader or other readers to just take it as it is and through their own perspective and just through their own eyes and their own feelings. I really feel like this is a series though that's very impactful. It does not fit the typical shoujo mold whatsoever. It is one I would recommend. It's a lot edgier than anything I've read on this channel. That's not to say or turn people away. I just feel like I should give that heads up since it's not like fluffy shoujo romance I typically read like Shortcake Cake. But it's very good. Again, I would definitely recommend it. I'm excited for that review to eventually come out at one point. I don't know when. I finally got all of Full Metal Alchemist, so this upcoming month I'm planning and hoping to share reviews of the manga that won for what manga should I read from Fine God Anime. So those are going to come first, except for Yona, because I think Yona is going to take me a little bit longer to read, and I'll be reading that at the end of the month. But definitely stay tuned. I'll have reviews up for Shortcake Cake and Mars, so please stay tuned to that, I guess, in August? Maybe? I don't know. I have like 4 reviews that I need to post, but haven't done so yet. But it was a really great month of reading. I really enjoyed almost everything I read and would recommend almost all of these. So like I said, the other one, I would recommend The Elusive Samurai. Just again, keep that in mind about the blood aspect to it because I was surprised that it was only 13 and up because I'm like, well, maybe it was just me and how, I don't do well with blood in general anyway, but that one just felt a little bit more intense than what I have read in the past. So there you have it. I feel like this was a much shorter like reading wrap up than I typically do, but I guess, I don't know, maybe because I filmed a video review before that I'm like, well, I don't want to like ramble here where I already rambled once, but I'm like, well, nobody has seen those rambles yet, so how are they supposed to know, Laura? How are they supposed to know? But I appreciate you watching. What did you read last month? I would love to hear from you. Are there any new recommendations that you're like, I read this and I'm totally need to recommend it? Recommend away, my friends. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!